Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and fellow fishing accomplices. Welcome back to Fishin. So we are smack dab in the middle of August right now. It's actually August 16th. Does that sound right? Works for me. And yeah, I've been off the water for a little while. It's just been one thing after another. Shortly after coming back from upstate, it was just a wind fest. And then as soon as the wind let down, I got some stomach virus that basically took me off the water for a week. And then on top of that, been having some automotive issues. Nothing too serious, but gonna complicate matters. So between all those things, getting fishing hasn't necessarily been as easy as I wish it would be this time of year, but the show must go on. I've got other responsibilities. What are you gonna do? So as much as I'd like to fish the South Shore, and it's coming soon, I promise folks, we're just fishing close to home because this is really the best I can do in a day like today, weather and responsibility wise. We're on the Sound, and I don't know really what to expect. It's been a while since I've really gotten to fish this water, but right now I'm marking 70, almost 73 degree water temps. Water clarity is not great. I actually almost tried to go in yesterday. I did actually, but water was like chocolate milk, and after about an hour I just threw in the towel and gave up. So I'm hoping things have settled down a little bit. It's a little calmer, water's a little cleaner. I can really get some actual fishing done today. The one silver lining yesterday is I marked a lot of what looked like solid fish while I was moving. It was really difficult to fish and wasn't really worth it. So we're gonna see what we can do. We're gonna jig in the bottom, maybe jig some bigger stuff to see if we can get some stripers, maybe even troll if we want to mix things up a bit. But that is the plan, and that is how we're going to stand. So stay tuned, because you know what we're about to do. Get some fishing accomplished. Okay, we're gonna start off shallow. We're gonna work the paddle shad. This is a 5-inch. We have a 3/8 ounce jig head. And I like to work the paddle shad in this particular area, especially this time of year, because there's a lot of small porgies here. If I work just a typical like curly tail gulp, they'll just get annihilated by them. They tend to leave this alone though. And if I do get porgies, they're generally on the bigger side. So let's see what this can do. I also find that this profile resonates a bit more with, you know, some of the more higher predatory species like striped bass and sea bass and such. So yeah, got a good drift right now. Should be able to put something together. Oh, that was a good bite. That was not a fluke. That was a quick grab. Maybe a bass. Oh, again, maybe it's a big porgy. I don't know. All right, definitely had 1 or 2 good hits in the last drop, so we're gonna try that again. For all I know, they could have just been slab porgies, but even that I'd be happy with. All right, definitely getting hits. Definitely getting missed. I'm gonna try this little Elias Mini Mackinaw shad. Let's make sure that moves right. Not the right jig head, but it'll work. And we're going to put a little bit of Procure on there to see how this is received by these fish. Ooh, yeah. That sound means there's flavor. You can practically, you know, taste it through the screen, I'm sure. Slather that on there and see what happens. Okay, smaller presentation, different color, switching things up. Let's see what the fish think. I think it should work, but who gives a crap what I think? Sometimes it's not about me. There's something. Ah, yes. No surprise that these guys would be more willing with the smaller size, but gotta start somewhere. All right, try a deeper run of this area. Still some good structure. It's worth a look. around 20 to 25 feet. Make sure we're getting all the way down. Ooh, what is that? That's, I think, a sea bass. Oh, baby fluke. Baby fluke. Didn't fight like a fluke. All right, we moved from the first spot completely. Working towards a nice piece of structure that I've gotten some good action on before. Hopefully today will be one of those days. Some days it's great, some days there's nothing here. It's a bit deeper. So we're gonna see what we can do with the paddle shad to start. Right now we're not even on it, we're just gonna drift into it, but let's see if there's anything hanging on the edges of this thing worth checking out. Ooh, didn't even get to it yet. That's a sea robin. Big sea robin. Not that big. All right, first pass of the structure, nothing. Try the paddle shad again, fish a slightly different piece. If this doesn't do anything, I'll think about switching presentations. Might even throw the grub on, I don't know. It's been slow. I mean, these water clarity things are not really making me super confident, but there's definitely some life here, so just don't want to throw the grub on if it means it's gonna be mauled by porgies. There we go. That's something. Took a while. Sea bass. Sea bass. Not a bad one. It's not legal, but did get a legal one over here a few days ago, or last time I was fishing, over a week ago. Barely legal, but can happen. There we go. That's a fluke. It's not a bad one. Might be hooked weird. He wasn't legal anyways. Yeah, there's definitely fish around. They're just, it's not a hot bite. I know the tide's about to slack pretty soon. Slack peak. And I know I said I wanted to do some deeper exploration, but these conditions are not really motivating me. If anything, the best I can really do is kind of like middle depth and shallower depth, which nothing wrong with that. In fact, I'll probably be better served doing that for fluke, but if I want to get some sea bass, going deep is really where it's at. There we go. That's a better fluke. That's a better fluke. Might be flirting with legal. Yeah, that's a legal one for sure. Maybe not legal, but close to it. I think that one's probably legal. If not, it's very close. Yeah, it's a keeper. It's like 18, just a hair under 19. But same as before, I just don't need them. So you're going home. All right, mid-August keeper fluke in the western Long Island Sound. That's an accomplishment in its own right for me. Not saying it's incredible. I know anyone could do it if they put their mind to it, but it's probably the latest I've gotten a keeper in the summer since I've been fishing in this general area, so I'm happy about that. But yeah, that fish was right in the kind of periphery of the structure, really losing my drift. I'm actually probably being pushed around more by the wind than the tide at this point, but just kind of working the periphery of it and letting the wind kind of move me slightly with the tide. And I will say, wind-wise, this is way more than was forecasted, but that's the way it is, I guess, sometimes. But let's see if we can pull a fish or two more off this spot before we start heading in closer to shore. All right, there's definitely a bit more wind than I was expecting, so we're gonna move a bit shallower because I think I'll have a better opportunity to fish a better drift in that area. Tide's pretty high, so the water should be deep enough, and if it's anything like how I left it in July, there should definitely be a lot of bait working around the structure, which means there could be some decent enough fluke. That's kind of where my head's at right now. It's really the only way I can salvage this unless the wind kind of lays down a bit, so see what we can do. There's a fluke. It feels decent. Maybe another keeper. Yeah, I'd say so. Close to keeper. This one's a little smaller than the last one, I think, but it's probably still just about close to keeper size. Let's take a look-see. So close. It's like 18 and just a touch over a quarter, so he's flirting with keeper, but not quite. All right, that fluke was very close, but not quite. About 17 feet of water. I'm working right along a ledge. A lot of structure over here, a lot of bait. This isn't necessarily where I'd be fishing if the conditions were a little more inviting, but this is what we got to work with right now, so let's make the most of it.
Yeah, so unfortunately I had to pretty much call this video pretty soon after getting that fish. I did fish for a little bit longer, but unfortunately the wind just kept picking up and up and up, and as I remarked earlier, it was not forecasted at all. It was supposed to be relatively calm on this particular day, but that wind really picked up. Like, I saw a forecast looking at like 7 or 8 mile an hour winds, and it was easily over 10, probably even approaching 15 towards the tail end of when I was getting out. But yeah, some things I noticed was definitely quite a few porgies moving in. A lot of bait starting to move in too. I was noticing some very large schools of peanut bunker, and every so often I get smacked, probably from, you know, little bluefish or something. One of them did snap me off, that's why I'm saying that, but yeah, I would have happily kept fishing, but unfortunately the conditions didn't allow it, so I have to save that seltzer review for one of the later videos. But thank you for making it this far. Got more stuff coming soon. Thank you for watching, as always. Goodbye from Fishin'.